Welcome back to Golf Xtra. As with every big deal that's negotiated in both business and sports, there are winners and losers. This is no different in the case of the deal struck between the PGA Tour and LIV Golf. But who are the winners and losers? And why did each of them end up on that specific end of the deal? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now, let's get right into the winners and losers of the LIV PGA deal. Winners. LIV golfers. LIV golfers are one of the obvious winners of the merger. They took a big risk by switching over to LIV, facing significant pushback from both the general public and the traditional golf organizations. Although there was some big financial incentive to switch over, those who did faced a less than successful organization for their time with LIV Golf. However, after the merger, the players will likely be allowed to keep most, if not all, of their gigantic signing bonuses from LIV Golf and get to return to the PGA Tour. It's an obvious win-win. The game of golf. We all have our differing opinions about what is best for the game of golf. Some agree with the LIV perspective that the game doesn't have enough competition, or that there should be more of a team-oriented aspect to the tournaments. No matter your specific viewpoint, though, I think we can all agree that the game is at its best when all of the world's best players are competing in the same events. For quite a while now, this hasn't been the case, as great players like Dustin Johnson, Cam Smith, and Brooks Koepka have been away from the traditional PGA Tour events with LIV. Now, it seems that this will no longer be the case, as the full pool of the world's best players will be back in the game. Golf legend Jack Nicklaus also agrees with this viewpoint, saying immediately after the merger, "The last 3 years have been difficult for the game and the players. I spoke with PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan this morning. He seemed pleased with the arrangement that will once again bring together the best players in the world. I agree that this is good for the game of golf." Nicklaus continued, "I also appreciate the Commissioner's comments about continuing the tradition of the tour and the mission to support important charitable causes. I am certainly interested in seeing the details." Monahan indicated that this all will happen in 2024, so very soon the proof will be in the pudding. Whatever is best for the game of golf enjoys my full support. Toward this same point, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan said that a merger between the two also changes how the game itself will be played, including a more unified format. Monahan's statement reads, "Whether you like it or not, the PIF was going to keep spending the money on golf. At least the PGA Tour now controls how that money is spent. So, if you're thinking about one of the biggest sovereign wealth funds in the world, would you rather have them as a partner or an enemy? At the end of the day, money talks, and you would rather have them as a partner." Phil Mickelson. Okay, we already covered LIV golfers being one of the obvious winners of the merger, but above all, Phil Mickelson is a winner as well as the lead golfer who made the move before all others. For this decision, he was widely condemned by fans and media alike, especially after he made some infamous comments to biographer Alan Shipnuck shortly after his move. "They're scary men to get involved with. We know they killed Washington Post reporter and U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights. They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates." As it turns out, Mickelson's goal of reshaping the PGA Tour was right on target. Although he certainly had to take his lumps as a part of the LIV contingent, his goal of inciting change was ultimately successful, seeing as the Saudi PIF now has a significant stake in the PGA Tour and will likely have at least some control over its future direction. Unsurprisingly, Phil was excited after the merger, tweeting simply, "Awesome day today." Losers. Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy was one of the PGA Tour's staunchest defenders during the most extreme times of conflict between the PGA and LIV. He reportedly turned down hundreds of millions of dollars from LIV and made many strong statements in the media against the LIV format and its financial backing. Now, with the merger imminent and Rory's loyalty seemingly in vain, he had a bit of a sad statement just after the merger. "It's hard for me to not sit up here and feel somewhat like a sacrificial lamb and feeling like I've put myself out there and this is what happens." While McIlroy is certainly a loser in the context of the merger, he does feel like the game itself will be better after the merger. He continued, "I want to play against the best in the world in a format that's been going on for 100 years. Money is great, but I've never really played the game of golf for monetary reasons. I play for the love of the game and want to play against the best in the world." Finally, McIlroy defended his actions during the time of conflict between LIV and PGA, but still sounded let down by the outcome, saying, "All I've tried to do is protect what the PGA Tour is and what the PGA Tour stands for. I've come to terms with it. I see what's happened in other sports. I see what has happened in other businesses. And honestly, I've just resigned myself to the fact that this is what's going to happen." Jay Monahan. Perhaps the biggest loser of all in the merger was the person who executed it, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan. While actively fighting against LIV Golf, Monahan infamously said that the players who left the PGA Tour would be potentially affecting their legacy and making a moral mistake, saying, "I think you'd have to be living under a rock not to know there are significant implications. I would ask any player who has left or any player who would consider leaving, have you ever had to apologize for being a member of the PGA Tour?" Now, Monahan has forced the tour and its members to merge with the very organization that he once vehemently criticized. Very few players were happy with the move, with several of them going so far as to call Monahan a hypocrite. For his part, Monahan took these comments head on, saying, "I understand the criticism I'm receiving around the hypocrisy and me being hypocritical given my commentary and my actions over the last couple of years. As we went forward and reached a compromise, that was one of my great considerations. Any hypocrisy I have to own, nobody else. That's on me. It shouldn't be directed at the membership. That's on me. As we sit here today, I'm confident we did the best thing for the game and the best thing for all our members." While Monahan is now slated to be the head of the new merged entity as the CEO, it wouldn't be surprising if he was ultimately forced out. Amateur golfers. One less obvious loser of the merger are amateur and lower-level professional golfers. We're talking about players who might not have been able to get into bigger PGA Tour events prior to LIV's existence, but have since been able to participate in those events due to the reduced field sizes, as some players had already left for LIV Golf. With the LIV players presumably back in the tournament fields next year, the opportunities for other players will be correspondingly reduced. One of those players is Kamayu Johnson, who received a sponsor's exemption to play in the Arnold Palmer Invitational in 2 of the last 3 years, saying, "Everybody wanted to be like Mr. Palmer coming up, just to be out there on his grounds that he created in such an elite tournament. I just felt welcomed by the PGA Tour and by the Palmer family, and I was just blessed to be a part of it." With the changing fields, Johnson feels that it is unlikely he'll participate in next year's event, saying, "Yeah, no invite, obviously not. Still good, but you knew something was missing. At the end of the day, people can say what they want to say. Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, and those guys bring a different vibe to the game." That goes back to our earlier point. Competition is a good thing for fans and the game of golf, but it will definitely make things harder for some golfers to make a breakthrough. So, what do you think about the winners and losers of the LIV PGA merger? Do you think that we missed anyone on our list? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.